Aloha mai kako. Aloha. I want to say welcome to my godson, Dillon Pakele.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you for coming on, Dills.
Thank you for having me.
And he's my real deal godson. His dad and I went to high school together.
Aloha.
And that's right, Vikings. His dad is Kaulana Pa, who is of the Mana'o Company. And that leads me straight into our first topic. In 2020, Dad passed away suddenly of an instant, massive heart attack. Sorry. And that was now 5 years ago as of the date of this taping. It has been a long road, Dillon. And you just celebrated, in fact, the third Kaulana Bash, which was to celebrate his life back in our hometown of Hilo. Catch us up. How are you and what have you been up to?
I'm doing good. It's not gonna lie, it always feels like day one ever since he's passed. Never a day that I don't miss him. But we've continued to move forward and continue to press into what he would have wanted, which is music. I know he would have wanted that. So we have an album that we're working on. We're remaking some of his songs, some of the songs that he's been a part of with different groups, and it's going to be a legacy project that we're working on. So
is it called Legacy Project?
That's kind of the title we're shooting for, something around legacy. If not the word legacy, then something around that.
But it is a legacy. And KP, Kaulana Pakele, he envisioned this alongside with your mom, of course, one of my dearest sister friends, Lise. They foresaw God's vision and his call was Pakele Mele. And you guys have been living that out. I mean, it includes things like a recording studio in your Hawaiian homestead home. Kapole, you in fact moved out of your bedroom. Dillon, you moved
I don't even have a bedroom. I don't even have a bed. I sleep on the couch.
You do. It's true story. I went over because I'm always visiting and dropping by. We go CPK. I hang out with Lise. And I saw you sleeping on the couch. And I was like, oh, how come he's sleeping on the couch today? And your mom goes, no, that's where he sleeps because we have the recording studio. I went, that's right. You guys put the studio in your bedroom.
Yeah, but also growing up, I know when we first... with me, my sister, Chantel, Kainoa, mom, dad. I think we were living in Kalaeloa at one point, and there was only one bedroom and 5 of us. So, I've been used to just sleeping wherever we can, whether it's the carpet or if we get room, we'll go on the bed sometimes, then perfect. But that's how I grew up. Just
local
sleep
style.
wherever you can.
Yes, you. Yeah. Come on, Uso. So you really did, you overcame that tragic suddenly, but I wanted to ask how, especially as you're kind of a public figure. Dad definitely was. I talked to Mom on this podcast previously, and now I want to ask you the same question I asked her is, how did you overcome the suddenly with everyone watching?
First and foremost, it wouldn't have been possible without God. I'll tell you that much. I think from the beginning, from the get-go, God has never let go of my hand through every single trial. Man, he's helped me through everything. So I can probably say that now. I feel like through the past 5 years, I was trying to figure that out, but I know that God was holding my hand through all of it. Yeah. And then I also have to say my mom. My mom is a big support to me. And if she didn't raise us the way that she did, which is to have a heart of God, I don't think I would have got through it.
Wow.
I don't know if I'd be here anymore. So.
You folks attend Word of Life. Traditionally, Dad and Mom. Dad was a praise and worship leader there, minister, and Mom. And now your sister, Kamalele. Is a Word of Life worship leader. But you folks really were rooted and founded and grounded there. Dillon, I just want to say something to you as your auntie and self-professed, self-proclaiming godmother. I will keep saying it until everybody in the world believes it. But I am proud of you because I see a strength and an anointing that's on your mom that I see similarly on you, where your mom, sometimes she gets a little shy, and I say this in love, and I know we're on camera, don't worry, Lise, but she won't say that she's bold, but she has a strength to her. Remember that one Thanksgiving when I had us all stand in a circle and it was just you and your friends and Kamale and Mom and me. And I said, let's say one thing that we're grateful for. And I think 3 of you, including your sister, you, and another one of your friends said, it's your mom's strength that sustained you, that you were grateful for. I see the same anointing on you, Dillon, where you may not see that for yourself, but I see it. I was there the day after Dad passed to glory, and the Lord had led me to come visit you and your family, as you probably recall.
I remember.
And you were the first person to run to me when I walked into the house, and you just held me. And of course, you're taller than me, but you, even in that moment of utter darkness and confusion and the why and all that was going on, you extended great aloha. There was a strength of aloha about you. And then, of course, I asked you, where's Mom? And you got kind of shy because you were raised right and not to shame your family. And she was upstairs, but you didn't want to say that she had been there for most of the day.
Yeah.
And there were a number of people in the house, right? And they were outside as well. The men were outside. There were a lot of women downstairs, but Mom was taking her time, protecting her peace upstairs. And then, of course, Kamale came running up to me. But the strength that you stood with the mantle of God's strength on you, I've seen increase since that day. You didn't see it in that moment, but I saw it. And I've seen it continue to progress, where I see the same man. And God says we go from glory to glory in his image. So thank you, Dillon, for your strength. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Now, and that was because I asked you the question, how did you overcome that tragic suddenly? Now I'm sorry, but I'm going to double down, because you just walked through another valley of the shadow of death with Uncle Fiji. So Uncle Fiji Veikoso is another great musician who, in fact, was a dear family friend. Yeah. He was a brother to your father. Like, you know, in Hawaii, we talk about hanai, which is adopted family, but he was that's family. He was your Uncle Fiji, and he just passed away in an unexpected sort of suddenly. He's 55 years old. Yeah. How are you walking through this valley of the shadow of death different this time, now having gone through Dad's passing 5 years ago, and now it's Uncle Fiji?
Uncle Fiji's passing was definitely, it was tough. There's so many levels to that. But for me, he's just somebody that I looked up to my whole life. All the music that I've ever listened to, like between Dad and him, those are like my two idols growing up, just listening to their music. And I tried to model my music after theirs. And so, and even me and Dad, we'd always listen to his music all the time. And we'd always pick like, oh, look what Uncle Fiji did here. Oh, look at that riff. Look at the music, you know? And so for me, I think the hardest thing for me is like not having him here anymore to influence our music industry, at least from a physical space. Right. Uncle Fiji was, I think, to me, the one that was holding it all together. He was the last of like that legendary musician, the OGs. And to me, it's like, okay, who, you know, there's nobody that's ever going to take his place.
Who's the new guard? Who's going to stand in that space, right? Yeah. I was talking to Irae Love earlier in a taping for this podcast, and she was even sharing how Fiji mentored her. And she was 18 years old when she first met him, or 16 rather, when she won Brown Bags to Stardom. Same kind of mentorship I see on you, but he also extended that to other great artists like Maoli, right? Mm-hmm. And then recently, in the past couple of years, I noticed, Godson, that he really was doing the same mentorship with you. And making sure that as you walk into the music industry, which really for both you and Uncle Fiji is a ministry. It's an industry, I get that, but it's a ministry. How, what would you like to speak to that he mentored you as well? Because now he went suddenly, right? But he was helping to watch for where you were going to go, who you were working with, etc. Right? Yeah. How was that for you?
I think for me, like a big thing, I'd say like the biggest thing that I've learned from Uncle that I will take forever is it's so much more than the music. More, and I'm gonna say this, Dad and Uncle had the same thing. It's being a solid human being. Wow. Like that to me is the most important thing before the music. Because if you're not a solid human being, you're not gonna make solid music. Wow. That's what I've learned from Uncle. And there's a certain post that people have posted after he passed that like there was one about this random person about them being on a plane. And Uncle Fiji ended up sitting by them. And the person was just in shock that he treated them like a normal person. But Uncle never acted like he was here. He was in Hammah. He just treated everybody like human beings. And Dad was the same way as well. And so for me, like, that is the thing that I want to carry forever. It doesn't matter how much followers you get, or you get blue check mark, or you have this much influence. Nah, I don't care. For me, be a solid human being. And that's what I'll take from Uncle Fiji forever.
I love that solid music comes out of a solid human being, because that's the foundation of your projection, right?
Yeah. And the music that we make, I mean, it's not, this is another thing that he said. He said that he doesn't write the music. He gets it from up there.
Did he really?
Yes.
His
Actually,
source.
in my song my first song that I released, Forgive Me, he did a verse in there. And when I think he was talking to my mom about it, and basically he said, Lisa, I never write the words. It came from up there.
Wow.
Yeah. And he said that in a podcast as well, that like you cannot take credit for the words. It comes from God.
Well, and with you saying that sheds so much light on the fact that, and I'm a huge Fiji fan, I always have been, but it shows, because Jesus says in the good book, we can judge a tree by its fruit, right? Bad fruit comes from a bad tree, but the good fruit comes from a good tree. And when you listen to Fiji's music, it's anointed.
Oh, yeah.
And then I happen to know there's some new music coming out with Fiji, even with yourself. He collaborated on some stuff that's coming out. And when you listen to the lyrics, it's anointed. He speaks of God. It comes from God. I love that he had that source. And I was going to ask you a question. Do you know where your dad and Uncle Fiji are now?
I have no doubt in the world. Like, I know where they're at. And I've known it. For Dad, I've known it since the day he's passed.
Yeah.
That if I'm never going to, there's no ways I'm not going to see my dad again. Like, I know that I will.
Yes.
And even when Uncle Fiji passed, like, there's just no ways.
Yeah.
There's no ways that there isn't a heaven.
Come on now.
There's no ways.
And that was one of the songs that you sing on the first, right? This release that you released, Faith, Heaven in the Sky is the H.
Yeah.
And they talk about heaven in the sky.
Yeah.
I believe strongly in the word of God says that your dad and Fiji are up there making music and worshiping in heaven. In fact, one of the things that we talked about with your dad was rest in victory, right? And then your mom said, as she prayed more on that, the RIV, not RIP, rest in peace, it's RIV. And then it was rejoice in victory, because he was a worship. Worship was Kaulana's, it was his essence. It was what he sweated. It was what he lived. And I believe that Uncle Fiji is there too, next to him, on the right hand of Jesus, who's at the right hand of the Father in heaven. So thank you, Dillon, for knowing that and knowing it so solidly.
I feel like there's like one more thing I want to add about Uncle Fiji.
Please do.
And I think it's something that I'm learning in my music now, as I'm recording an album that has a lot of covers, but I'm also going into an original album where it's going to be all originals. Wow. And the music that I'm writing, to me, I'm connecting this to Uncle Fiji, because I've learned it through listening to his music, that the music that we write, I've realized that in life, the ups and downs that we go through, we cannot skip any of it. Because as artists, it is our job to go through it, and it is our job to process it, and it is our job to turn that into music.
Wow.
And I think that's when you listen to Uncle Fiji's music, like, that's what that is. You think about all the songs that he sang, Joanna, Sweet Darling, Lonely Days. These are all songs that he's had to go through pain to write.
Yeah.
If you really listen to the words, it's pain.
Yes.
Some of it's happiness. Some of it is confusion. Some of it, there's a lot of different emotions that he's had to process. But that downs and those ups was what made the music.
Yes.
And so I realized, as I'm starting to write my own music, what price that he's had to pay to be able to write the songs that we listen to.
That's so good. Yeah. And when I saw one post, and there were so many posts that came out, right, on IG and TikTok, etc., about when Uncle Fiji passed to glory. But one that really struck me is exactly what you're saying, Dillon, that it said, he was talking and he said he had trauma as a child, as a young person. But at first he screamed, and then he learned to sing. And the singing blessed more, right? It went out. It was much more popular to sing than to scream. But that's where I believe so many different island groups, right? He's from Fiji. I come from Tonga. We grew up listening to Bob Marley, and then Fiji was so big for us. And of course, here in Hawaii and the continent, all around the world, because he turned that pain, it was redeemed into glory. Yeah. Like you're saying, to filter and to process it as a musician and as an artist, and to ground it back to God. That's beautiful. Thank you for learning that, Dillon. What is one of the songs you sang with Uncle on Faith? And that, can you talk about what's coming up in the Legacy Project? Was he a part of that too?
Yeah, so on the Faith EP, he did this song called Forgive Me. Actually, I have 3 angels on that song. Uncle Fiji's on it, Dad was on it, and Uncle Langa Savea. So all of them, Uncle Langa's the one that produced the music, Dad did the harmonies, and Uncle Fiji did his verse. So that song's really special to me. And then there's another song that's coming up on my new album, the Legacy Project. It's a song called With This Ring. And my dad actually is the one that recorded it a while back on the Coconut Island album, but Uncle Fiji is the one that wrote it. So before Uncle Fiji passed, I actually talked to him, and he said that he wrote that song for my mom and dad so I could do whatever I wanted to do with it. Wow. And so we ended up re-recording it.
Wow.
And I'm really excited for that song. One, because the connection with Uncle Fiji and the connection with Dad as well. Mm-hmm. But 2, a big mission in my life now is to show the world what real love is supposed to be like. And that song talks about With This Ring. It's talking about marriage. It's about, true love. And to me, that's just something that's really important to me. So I'm excited for people to hear this song and hear what Uncle Fiji has written. And then hopefully it leads people back to Dad's version as well, but also hearing the new version of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of story to it, and I'm hoping to talk more about it later.
That's good. And I know I can't say I know that Dad would love that, but I totally would guess that he loves that you're taking something that he did and then starting it back up for the new generation, because we do need to touch base on what real love is and what With This Ring is. I'm going to sanctify it before God and all humans, that I love you so much, I'm going to put a ring on it.
Well,
right?
Love is not a feeling. To me, it's a choice.
That's good.
And to me, I feel like a lot of people didn't grow up with that. And I'm blessed to have had a mom and dad that has shown me that. I didn't know that not everybody grew up with that.
Yes.
And so for me, because God has blessed me with that, I want to make sure I bless other people with that in any way that I can, whether it's through music or it's just one-on-one talking story or whether it's singing on a stage. I don't know.
Right.
Figuring out how I can show that more into the world.
And so much goodness to that, godson, because I know Dad and I know Mom. And, like you're saying, you were blessed with something that not a lot of kids in this generation get. And that was a whole family, as in a whole marriage family, right? A traditional marriage family of a mom and a dad, a man and a woman, and fighting for their marriage. Fighting for each other, not with each other. And and they were the first to share and be very transparent, which was, it wasn't the perfect marriage, but they serve a perfect God, and they always fought forward, towards the goal of staying together.
I think that's something I'm starting to realize more and more. I'm thankful that my mom and dad have made that decision, because there's many times where they could have gave up. And for me, it poured into my life. And now for me, I've been in situations that, I'm still learning about that as well. But for me, I now know the truth that it does not work without God.
Yes.
And With This Ring, that song embodies that. It talks about God in the song. And on top of that, it talks about choosing that person no matter what the situation is. That's what love is to me. Wow. And I want to push that message out into the world.
So good. And I had a friend along the lines of what you just said. His name is Dave, and he was sharing that he watched his parents. He's my age, so he's older than you, but he said he watched his parents fight hard to stay married, and it was difficult sometimes, almost impossible. But because they both were proclaiming Christians and held to Jesus, they did stay married. And he goes, and because they stayed married, he and his brothers were able to see and to then minister not just to their wives, but he said now they have their own children, and he was able to foster and adopt another girl because of that foundation that they could then build a next level on. It was easier because their parents paid a price. Thank you for doing that. Wow, so much goodness. Is there a Bible verse that you cling to? I know Dad had Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, right? But do you have a verse, Dillon, that you also cling to, or is it the same verse?
I'd definitely say that one, but my brother's one in high school, he had it on a shirt for his senior night, and it was Luke 137. I think it's with God all things is possible.
Yes.
And for me, that's been something I've always thought about. I know without a shadow of a doubt, I don't have the plan for everything, but I know that God can make anything happen.
Wow.
And through recent times in my life in the past couple of years, I've realized that I know that. And not everybody has that same certain confidence.
Yes.
And I realize that I have to protect that.
It's good.
Yeah.
And it's not just a confidence, but I've recalled it a Godfidence. Like it's a God confidence because we are not certain of ourselves. I've never felt really sure about things I do. When I watch you, Dillon, and maybe when people are watching right now in Aloha Alive, they see, oh, he's this tall, good looking, and he's a talented musician. They see an after photo, but they don't see, or maybe the tip of the mauna, right? But there's a huge mauna, an iceberg underneath that water line that you don't see the process and the pain and the struggling and the progressing and the moving forward that you choose, Dillon, and that we might be standing there. I heard a great quote that says, courage is fear that has said its prayers. And I see in you, like I said, that boldness, but it's courage is another word for it, where you stand up even in spaces you may not know yet, like going to record, right? Recording studio, writing music. This didn't just come to you naturally. Yes, you're a second generation musician, but I think we're all learning along the way. So thank you for saying it that humbly. Dad's vision is now Pakele Entertainment. What is that specifically? And I did reference it earlier, but for people who don't know, what is Pakele Entertainment?
So Pakele Entertainment is our family company. It actually started as Pakele Mele, as a family band with me, Dad, and my sister, Kamale. And, when Dad passed away, I was like, shucks, what do we do now? And Mom and Dad have been talking about doing something like this for a while. So it shifted in from Pakele Mele to Pakele Entertainment.
Wow.
And Pakele Entertainment to me is something that's still growing, the concept of it, but I'd say it could be so many different things. I think it's a platform, one, to funnel my music, like Dillon Pakele, but then it's also a funnel for something else we want to do, which is KP Studios, where we want to be able to help people record their projects. I want to be able to help people with their marketing for their music, because music is more than just the music. That's half the battle. The other half is marketing it.
Yes.
And then like maybe even like photo shoots, music videos, all the content stuff. KP Studios is one facet of it. We also throw concerts. We do this thing called the Kaulana Bash, which my dad's name is Kaulana, so Kaulana Bash. And we've done it for the past 3 years in Hilo. And so this year, 2026, this coming year, we're going to expand it island-wide.
Yeah, you.
So we're going to go Kauai, Maui, Oahu, and Big Island again.
Wow.
So there's Pakele Entertainment has its hands in a bunch of different things, and I think 2026 is going to be a year where it starts to expand more and break out more. Yeah.
Yes, so bless I love it, Dillon, because I know, because of course I'm a Big Island girl, so we love that you started in Mokuoke Ave, Hilo.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? Kona side needs too, right? Kauai, I have Ohana, you have Ohana on all islands, Kauai, Maui, etc.
Yes.
Saying, hey, sister islands, we need some too.
Yeah, the goal is to reach all of Hawaii, not just one island, not just two. Hey, all of Polynesia if we can one day. That would be the goal.
I love it. And okay, good. So that's coming out with Pakele Entertainment. And you have new music. You've been referencing the Legacy Project. You're working with other artists. Can you drop some names? I know we talked about Uncle Fiji.
I'll talk about the Legacy Project. There's actually a lot of cool collaborations on there.
Yes,
so there's going to be Ehukai, which is the one, what's actually technically going to be the Ehukai Kids.
Oh.
So a lot of the people... There's going to be a song we're doing that has a bunch of the kids from the band.
Oh.
We're also going to do a Manao Company song with all the Manao Company kids.
Oh.
So I'm not going to give the song titles yet, but it's going to come out in December, I think. So that one, I did one with Jordan T that's going to be on here. Who else we got? We have Sudden Rush is going to be on this project.
Yeah, you.
There is some that is still in the works. We're still working on it. I had Johnny Sweet. It was on Harmonies for With This Ring.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
Yes, Johnny.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. We also have Pacific Blue, which is an old school band that my dad really loves. Uncle Kavehi them, Uncle Lika them. And there's a bunch of collaborations that I'm working with on the side as well. Besides the Legacy Project, I'm working on maybe like maybe 20 different songs right now.
Holy.
There's a lot of collaborations that's been in the mix, but God's just been really good on that.
And
realm.
everybody loves a good collab, right? Like we just love hearing it. Like,
It's
oh
the
my
generation of
gosh.
collabing. That's how it goes.
And
but
then
God's been definitely connecting every single one of those, and all of
Right?
them. For me, this might be a weird terminology, but for me, I think about it this way. You got to be careful with who you do songs with, because to me, it's like when you do songs with this person, it's almost like you're making a baby with them, and you're connected to this person for life. So be careful who you make songs with, because you
Right.
have to make sure that they align with your goals, and that they're representing you as much as you're representing them.
Yep.
And so that's something I'm learning as I'm going. And every time I collaborate with somebody, I try to spend time with them first before we just start making music.
Right.
Because then, yeah, does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. And I know we have a lot of Christian audience watching, and they might say, oh my gosh, he just said making a baby. And so guess what? You know what? We're going to say it in a true way. And I really think you're right. And you hit it on the head, because you are bringing your mind, body, soul, and strength, right?
Yeah.
So the Bible says, love the Lord your God with your whole mind, body, soul, and strength. When you make a song, you do come into a collaboration or a union with another artist. And if you don't pick the right person, because you're going to make this song, it's going to be out there. And now you have, like, if you get together with somebody based on, let's say, a one night stand, and you just jump into it, and then you have a baby.
Yeah.
Now you're co-parenting for the rest of that baby's life, and you are tied and bonded to that person.
And even if you choose to make better decisions, if that person doesn't, you're tied to them regardless if you like it or not.
Right.
And we've seen time and time again of this situations happening.
So it's not like you have a baby mama running around out there. You got a song mama running around out there, or she has a song daddy. And so, just in a serious note, I love hearing that you're stewarding your spirit man well, Dillon, and that you're not just quote unquote spilling seed or spilling song anywhere, because you are held accountable for every word that comes out of your mouth. And that's also for every action that you're taking. This is a young Hawaiian man who is striving and attempting and straining himself to be pono, to be accountable to the principles he finds in the Bible. I was just talking to Auntie Leolani de Lima and Uncle Kelly Boy from
Legends.
Kapena. They love you.
Love them.
And they were speaking, Johnny Sweet was hosting something at his church and talking about, I think the word was, your mom was talking about it too. It's protecting the platform, so to speak. Yep. And it's about being purposeful. And when you're an artist, and they had Kaulana Pa and Kalae also speaking, and she said, when you walk in the bathroom and you see people doing cocaine, doing lines, we are all seeing this when we're at the clubs or the venues and we're performing. What do you do in that moment? Do you join in and become like the world, or are we really going to be set apart as worshipers unto God? So I appreciate that you're very real in talking about collaborating, because it's the real and it's the business. And that's where Uncle Fiji really tried to mentor people like Ire Love, Maoli, yourself in the last lap of his life, because it's guarding what has sacredly been appointed to you as a God-given gift. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So thank you, Dillon, for saying that
Thank you.
for guarding what you're doing. But you're also shining your light. You're sharing space with people, right? And it's allowing them to see you show up and you drink water. That's your drink. That's your drink of choice. Shaken, not stirred, extra ice, but it's water. It's Waiakea water.
Oh, yeah.
We got it in. There he is. He's going to take a sippy sip of the good water, Waiakea. Is it Big Island water, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
And
It's
I have
all
some in
from
my
Hilo.
mug, which I got from my sis Lise, who has a mug collection. She's got the Museum of Mugs.
Shout out Manuheli right there.
Thank you, Lise and Manuheli'i. But Waiakea Water, Big Island Water, and they're your sponsor. But that's different. You're not like your average guy who's at the clubs, a young up-and-coming artist. We've been to the Nahoku Awards with you, nominated, future winner. I'm just going to claim it, name it, claim it, prophesy it, get it in there.
Timing. In God's
Yes,
timing.
sir. But it's being different because God has called you to be different, set apart, holy. You are a royal priesthood, a holy nation, Dillon. And where does that factor in from? It's not a separation of church and state, or church and platform, or pulpit, or, being on stage. It's how do you bring those together? because you're a Christian man living there. Now, you were talking about with this ring. Are you single?
Yes.
Oh, you know, I was asking it, ladies, because I know some people watching this and they're like, ask him the question, Don O'Brien. I was going to not ask you because you're my godson and I try to shield him. I had my eye on a girl for a while. I was kind of trying to like smooth in there, but she just got engaged to somebody else. It's fine. This woman of God was fine.
This is probably the most important topic to me. For me, I feel like just a little message I want to say to the youngsters out there. Don't rush it.
Wow.
Like, don't chase that person. Let God bring that person to you.
Wow.
It's something that I learned that for the past maybe 10 years of my life, I've been in and out of some relationships. And for me, what I've realized is in every single one of those relationships, I chased that person instead of letting God bring the person to me.
Oh,
and
wow.
instead of like I'm talking about all kinds of things, what I've realized is that a relationship doesn't work unless you guys both put God at the center.
Wow.
That is something that I realize that is super important.
Yes.
And so for you youngsters out there, if you are maybe younger than like 25, don't do it. Just wait till you're like in your, late 20s, and then maybe you'll be a little bit more ready for it. But trust me, I actually told the kids I was at Honolulu Middle School yesterday, and a lot of them were talking story, and I said, hey, none of you, don't date. You guys are not ready. Promise. Don't date in high school. Don't date in college. Don't even date till after you get out of college.
Wow.
Wait.
You laid it down.
Oh, yeah.
I love it, Dillon.
They have no idea.
Right? But it's true. You look back, I look back, and you're a lot younger than I am. He's 28. He's 6 feet. Okay, I'm giving your stats, right? It's like fantasy football with our star, Dillon. But I'm 55. There he is. He's a fantasy football guy as well.
Yeah.
Just throwing out all the factoids
Raiders
for
on
you
top.
ladies.
Raiders
Yes.
on top.
Okay, we'll forgive you for that, Raiders. But at 55 now, and I realize that so much of what you just said is so true. But sitting there as a middle schooler, I probably would have spit like out loud.
They definitely did not agree with me, but at least, they'll be able to be like, oh, Uncle Dillon said that about 10 years ago. I should have listened to him.
There's truth. It's true. And even science shows that a man's brain, and go look it up, men, your brains don't fully develop until a certain age, and you're ready to marry at about age 30. So how old are you again?
27.
27. He's turning 28 soon. I know we might be airing this around your birthday. And he's single, and you're going to have to deal with his mama, but then you got the Tongan bouncer auntie right there next. And then you have the sisters to deal with. But just putting it out there that you're making better choices, and it wasn't always perfect, but we learned through hard experience, yeah?
Just like we were talking about the music. I mean, for me, that's one realm that I've written a lot of music about. So if I didn't go through the hardships, I wouldn't be able to share the message that I want to share now.
So good,
So
Dillon.
I had to go through the valley to be able to share the message about the valley.
Absolutely.
So that other people can stay out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now he's ready. I'm his Auntie Dawn. You can call me first. But now I really do think so. And Dillon, I'm not making false hope or false promises like, oh, she's coming in this next season. But I feel like you did mature a lot through things. We were always hopeful through each of the relationships you were in. But thank you for being transparent about that topic, because I know it can be hard. But I'm also glad you spoke life to our younger kids on that.
Oh, yeah. It's probably one of the most important things. We've had people literally take their lives because of things like that. So for me, I want people to know it's not worth it. Let God bring that woman that's going to protect your heart, or woman or man. For the women, right? The men.
That's right.
Man, the women, right?
Yes.
Let God bring that person.
That's
because
good.
then they'll be able to protect your heart the right way. Yeah.
And it's a completion of God's will for you. I love that. Dillon, where can we hear your music?
You guys can check it out on Apple Music, Spotify, has some music videos on YouTube. And then we have a bunch more coming out. Instagram is kind of where I post my updates.
You do really well at that, by the way.
I'm working on it more. There's a lot of people that are really good at reels and stuff. For me, I got to get better at it, more consistent. Sometimes I'm just like in the moment. That's why.
Yeah.
So,
you're very present. You're very mindful. But
it's hard to be both.
Right?
Yeah.
To be editor and then also.
I try to be like, read the room. Like if the room is like not calling for a camera, put it down. But if it's like, people should see this. If it's for you, then put it down. If it's for God, okay.
So
you know
good.
what I mean? Yeah.
But you do so well at it, sweetie. And this is just me as an auntie speaking to you. And mom, it was a mom compliment. I just saw her Sunday. We were at the pool. And then she goes, oh, yeah, I keep trying to ask Dillon where we post the link for the podcast. I got to ask Dillon. And so she thinks so highly of you. And so do I. I was like, no, just let it go. It's okay. We don't need to put up the link. But speaking about that, when you said read the room, you and I represent Choose Aloha in the schools. Oh, yeah. Dillon goes with me as an Aloha ambassador. And of course, your dad sang with Uncle Danny Kennedy and the Mana'o Company, ALOHA, A Little Aloha. You and I go into the schools love you, of you. What's your favorite part about being a Choose Aloha ambassador in schools? And these are elementaries, like you said, Honouliuli Middle School. We've even gone into high schools. We've gone to Maui, around the islands. What's your favorite part or memory from doing Choose Aloha?
I think for me, it's engaging with the kids and like really just seeing them happy. Like for 30 minutes of their day, they're just joyful. And I've worked at a school for a little bit at Honouliuli Middle School. And I've realized, some of the kids have different lives when they go home.
Yeah.
And it's not every kid has the same upbringing or has the same situation.
Right.
And so for me, for 30 minutes, it's our responsibility to make sure that they feel aloha because maybe they might not feel it for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And so for me, seeing them smile, it definitely was a life-changing experience for me working with Choose Aloha because I was able to experience like having that kuleana to make sure that those kids smile.
That's good.
And putting joy and aloha into their hearts.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is a pure aloha. 30 minutes is so fast. And that's boarding in.
30 minutes is, it seems fast, but I'll tell you this, it's long as well. 30 minutes is a long time to entertain.
Yes, it is.
And I give you all the flowers for
You're
that. You're
so
awesome
kind.
at that.
Thank you. But you know what? My favorite memory is when we go out together, Dillon, and you're one of the go-to guys along with Uncle Kaleo Pilanka and Uncle Pipi, Primetime Pipi Resentes. What's up, boys?
Yes, sir.
Is when you sing your dad and Mana'o Company song ALOHA, which Danny Kennedy wrote. Love you, brother Danny and Siobhan. They're ohana to you as well. Seeing the kids doing the motions ALOHA, and then we kind of like on the cuff impromptu invented a hula to go with it. You're singing and you see this whole gym or whatever space we're in and hundreds of kids smiling and making the motions and singing the song.
I think what's crazy about it is I actually grew up like when I was in elementary and we were doing that, and to be like 27 now, 10 plus years later, and it's still going.
Yes.
I think I just want to shout out to Uncle Danny. Like you wrote such a powerful song that has literally went from generation to generation.
Yes.
And to me, that's awesome. There's only a handful of songs that make it that far, and you wrote a song like that. So love you, Uncle Danny, for writing such an awesome song.
Amen, brother Danny. Serious. And my, if I'm correct, please correct me if I'm not correct, is that it was a last song they put on the album at that time.
I'm not sure the story of that. Yeah, that might be right. I have no idea.
And it was just because they needed an X number amount of songs on the album to make it an album, like let's say 12 or 13. And this was the 13th song. They just kind of put it on there. And so it was written quickly by Danny. And so I'm gonna go ask Danny again because I swear I heard them tell that backstory to the song.
Could be. Oh yeah, I would love to know as well.
Right, and then it ended up being the biggest hit off the album.
Oh yeah.
And like you said, it's a legacy song that's gone through generations.
Yeah.
I knew one teacher at Nanakuli High School, and she moved away from Eva Beach area. She's from there originally. She went up to the mainland for a while, the continent, Ikalamai, the continent, and she would listen to that song every day to keep her roots strong. She just needed a touch of the islands, and it was the ALOHA, which also teaches what aloha is in a beautiful way. So thank you for being Aloha Ambassador. DJ
Always.
Dillon. I learned
DJ
not to call
Dillon.
him Uncle Dillon.
Oh yeah, please don't.
He's too young. Yeah. I'm Auntie
I
Dawn.
want to stay young as much as I can. Maybe leave the uncle out as much as can.
Well, you're still young. You're out there playing basketball. You're playing celebrity football the other Sunday.
For long. My knees start to give out every time I play ball. I gotta use knee brace pretty soon.
Oos. Come on. You're still young. Get it. I'm gonna ask you a last question. 2 questions that go together. We do it every podcast, and we land on the aloha. Is number 1, what is aloha to you? And that could be a memory, a story. It could be a flavor. It could be a scent or a lei. What is aloha to you?
Aloha to me, this is a deep question. It's something that I'm actually figuring out now. That's why. Aloha, I don't know if this is a correct response to this, but my response to it would be, it's my purpose. And what I mean by that is how I said earlier, like, I feel like part of my kuleana is to share love around the world. But when I think about the word aloha, I think there's a huge kuleana to that word. And there's so many different layers and levels to it. It's not just love. Even though it means different words and different meanings, to me, I could write a whole paragraph. A whole essay about it.
Yes.
And for me, it's my purpose. It's something that I want to live by. I want to embody in every single day of my life, into everything that I do. When I wake up and when I go to sleep, I want to make sure that everything I did was with aloha.
Wow.
And so to me, I didn't always have that. I think my dad and my mom have kind of showed me what that was growing up. And when dad passed away, I think there was a void in my life for a few years.
Yeah.
From 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, even into 2025.
Sure.
In 2025, I finally realized what my calling is.
Wow.
And my calling is to share love around the world.
Yeah.
And share aloha throughout the world.
Yes.
In any way possible. I don't care if it's, I got to be here or here. Wherever it is, do that. That is your goal.
Yeah.
And that is what I'll do to the day that I die.
Wow. That's so huge and wonderful. But I like the word I'm going to key in on is purpose. It's your life purpose. We were sharing, and I won't say the name, but you're even hosting at your home in Hawaiian homesteads, kapole, somebody from continent. Okay, who is it?
It's my brother, Oliver Steele.
If
you guys have watched American Idol, Iam Tangi, he was one of the good friends on the show of Iam Tangi. And me and him actually got really close after the show. And he actually stayed at our house the last time he was here. Wow. And he's actually here visiting again. And we're just spending the week at my house. So.
And that's huge to host in your own home. You don't even have a bedroom. You're hosting. Right?
Yeah, we get 2 couches. I'm going to give him the authentic experience, okay? You sleep that couch, I sleep this couch.
Well, your dad, KP's from Keaukaha, and it was blue tarps and blue tents up all the time down by the ocean. But you were sharing how Oliver comes to the house. He forgot to hemo his shoes. He forgot to take off the shoes. You kind of had to school him on that. Kind of forgot to wait till everybody's order lands on the table before he started eating. Yeah. So my point in bringing it up is not to shame Oliver. Love you, much aloha. But you're teaching aloha culture. Yeah. You're teaching aloha spirit. That's part of your purpose. And your dad, I remember, and I talked about this with Lise, his last IG post was correcting people about trashing the aina. Remember that?
Yes, I remember. I can never forget. It was literally his last post. It was on Hungry Hawaiian.
Yes.
That was his last post.
And I think Lise told him, take it down. And he's like, no. It had to stay up. Yeah. But that was part of what I loved about your dad. And I see it a lot in you, Dillon. Even when I came to the house for Thanksgiving, the last Thanksgiving with dad, was that he and I were sitting across the table just like we are now, both eating turkey. And he was telling me stories of Hilo. But at the same time, he kept looking at the door. He's like, door. Close the door. Door. Boy, close the door.
The
Dillon. Flies.
He hated flies. He was paranoid. Yeah. I remember.
So aloha is not just this welcome mat of niceness, and we're always going to have this Pollyanna picture, plastic perfect smile slapped on our faces with our plastic hula skirts. Aloha is a fierce force of I love you, and I'm going to tell you things because I love you. Yeah. Bible says the Lord disciplines us because he loves us. Yeah. So because you aloha Oliver, you're telling him, hey, bro, when you come to the house, you got to take off those shoes. Yeah. When we go out to eat, etc. But he also got a brand new curly koa, right? He got the new...
So for me, can it be an uncomfortable conversation? Heck yeah, it can be. But for me, if I don't say something, then that means I don't love you. Yeah. And if I don't say something and I show that, then I'm not living my purpose. So I have to. And for me, you can still have a hard conversation with aloha.
Yes.
And if the person chooses to get offended from it, which Oliver doesn't, he's awesome. He's an awesome human being. if they choose that, then they're not living with aloha.
Yeah.
Then therefore you're not aligned with that person. So why do I have that
Wow.
person in my life? And that I choose to have Oliver in my life because I know he has aloha in his heart.
That's so good.
Maybe he's not from here, but
Yeah.
I know he has it in his heart. He has aloha in his heart.
That's so good.
And I know people that have been raised here their whole life and no more aloha like that. So that's why I love Oliver. He's somebody that has aloha in his heart and is willing to learn from me as I'm willing to learn from him.
That's beautiful. And of course we kind of just brought up Oliver as one example of the bigger principle of choosing aloha with someone and sharing space, because you're in a relationship with this person. That means a lot.
Yeah.
And that, like you said, if we have a spirit of offense and you're not in alignment, I'm not in alignment, it doesn't work, then there's lots of other places on earth and lots of other people. Right. I love that you do that, because I saw that in Dad a lot, and he loved people fiercely, but he also brought correction, right? And he would, like, he got into Jay Nakasone's face a lot before she became the woman of God that she is today. Yeah. She didn't get saved and find salvation in Jesus Christ till after his first celebration of life, the first funeral.
But it was all those years of having those conversations. It was hard conversations. Exactly. And I remember Dad telling me and Auntie Jay sharing with me after, you know, like, if he didn't have all those conversations, would she have gave her life to the Lord?
Yes.
I don't
Correct.
know. Maybe not.
Right?
Not sure. And so from Dad doing that, from generation to generation, his actions poured into me. And now I want to do that for the people that God places in my life.
And I was just going to say that. You nailed it, sweetie. Is I saw it in Dad, and I see that anointing in you. So you bear Mom's anointing of strength and boldness when you don't think you do, but you also bear Dad's strength and anointing of that aloha. Thank you. Both the fierce love as well as, you know, the compassionate, softer love.
Thank you to Mom and Dad and God. They're the ones that
I'm so
embody that.
proud of you.
So.
I said the last question was, what is aloha to you? The second part of that is, who is your aloha hero? Somebody who embodies pure, true aloha, either past or present. They can be living or gone.
I mean, I definitely have to put my dad there. He's probably the biggest example of aloha I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to stick with that, with Dad. I think him being absent in my life now, I know he's here spiritually. I know he's still a part of my life. But physically, having that absence of Dad not being here has showed me how much aloha he really had. Because to me, the best way I put it is the world felt like there was such a light. And when he passed, it felt like it was darkness. And that's how much he lit up the room. Like I've never felt darkness in my life until he passed, because he always made sure that the light was burning in the room. And so for me, I'd say Dad is the biggest example of aloha I have in my life. Yeah.
And as you said that, thank you, Dillon. I just looked down at this light that we made. I think it was for Kamale's graduation. Mom had this made, and it kind of looks like, you know, we have the Lantern Festival here at Ala Moana, and they send out the lanterns, but I get to keep this one, and it has Dad's guitar that you now use. Can you sing us a song as we go out? Yeah. Would that be okay? Is that a good thing?
Let's do it.
Because here's the guitar, but our boy is going to grab the Mana'o Company Pakele ukulele and give us a little small kind sample.
I think I'm going to play an original song. Let's move the mic just a little bit. This is a song that I released back in February 14th. This was for Valentine's Day. It's a song called Love With Me. It's normally in reggae, but we'll make it a little, not reggae, R&B-ish, I guess. Goes a little something like this. We'll just sing part of it, maybe, like, or the whole song. Nah, we'll sing part of it.
Yeah, you.
Song called Love With Me. Wrong chord. If you say you love me, then love me. Give me everything. Everything you need from me. Time can overwhelm us. It's time, you know. If we're meant to be, no.
more than we're meant to be. And I don't wanna wait a second more. So if you already know, I need you to tell me I need to know. And if it's love, 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 love that you want, said I just might not have enough, but I'll give you all I have. And if it's love, 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 love that you need, oh, said I just might get on my knees. And I ask if you can share this love with me. No. Ooh, ooh. And I'll ask if you can share this love with me. Oh, whoa. And I'll ask if you can share this love, 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 love.
Original music there. Song called Love With Me.
Oh, wow, low, low. How now, brown cow in my wow, low, low. My godson, and yes, he's single, Dillon Pakele. You can find him on IG, which is Instagram at Dillon Pakele.
Yes.
We're going to have that up on the screen. You can also find, I think you have, usually post where you're going to play, right?
Oh, yeah.
A calendar of where he's
2026,
gigging.
we're going to do more shows.
Yes.
Definitely, hopefully tours by next year. That'd be dope.
Wow.
That's
So
the
the
goal.
contact is just on IG right now, or do you guys have a website yet?
I'd say mainly IG, just at
Okay.
my Instagram,
He's
at Dillon Pakele.
super updated, always fresh with that, and he's great at posting. Dillon Pakele, Pakele Entertainment, formerly of Pakele Mele, with his dad, Kaulana Pakele, and we devote the show to my brother. By the way, your mom chose the same Aloha hero that you did. It was her Kaulana Pakele. So love to my brother. And that is Aloha. Hope you catch the Aloha.
A little aloha in a day.
Dillon Pakele, and we're out.
All right. God bless.
Yeah, you.